Can you beat Crash Bandicoot 2 without breaking any boxes? No. No, you can't. There are TNT crates that automatically explode in certain levels, so no, it's not possible to get 0 boxes in an entire run. Thanks for watching. Okay, well, what is the minimum number of boxes you can get in Crash Bandicoot 2 then? Join me as we find out. Here are the rules for this run. We must collect all 25 crystals, one from each main level. If I accidentally destroy a box that I think is avoidable, I'm just gonna die to reset the level. If I die many times in a row, I get a pity mask to help protect me. These pity masks can be used at any time. With those simple rules out the way, let's begin. The game starts with a tutorial, in which the boxes are super easy to avoid. Our first level is Turtle Woods. This level is unique, as it's designed to be beaten without breaking any boxes. It was quite simple to navigate. The only obstacle is the pile of boxes here, in which you need to jump on the bouncy crate to get over without breaking any boxes. I snagged the crystal, and I got to the end of the level and received a blue gem as a bonus for not getting any boxes. First level done. Our second level is called Snow Go. The level starts off very tame, but I came across my first obstacle. These boxes could not be walked around. I tried jumping, but the reach was just too short and I broke a box. So I killed Crash to reset the level. Since there are no checkpoint boxes that we are allowed to break, every time you die, you go right back to the very start of the level. At first this wasn't too bad, but in the later levels, this was pure pain. I tried again, and this time I did a skid jump to successfully clear the boxes. The rest of the level was a breeze and we cleared it with no boxes broken. Next up was Hang 8. Welcome to our first water level. These levels have a water ski section where you drift over the water. The first few boxes were really easy to avoid, but later on, the boxes at the end required more finesse. But we made it to the end with no boxes against our name. Up next was the pits. This was a very easy to navigate level. I grabbed the crystal, fought my way out of the pits, and level done, 0 boxes. I was having an amazing time. This challenge was going very well. But then we came to our next level, Crash Dash. Crash Dash is a level where you are chased by boulders and must run backwards. I made it to the second checkpoint area with no issues at all, but then it happened. 4 nitro boxes in a row, all crushed by the boulder. I grabbed the crystal. At the next checkpoint, the boulder collapses and crushes 3 more boxes, and then another, and then 8 more. We finished the level with a disappointing 16 unavoidable boxes. Next up was our first boss, Ripperoo. It's a very straightforward fight. And it was done. With that, we move on to the next warp room. Our next level was Snowbiz. The level started off easy enough, and I made it fairly far. The icy sections were becoming more common. I used a skid jump to get over these boxes. Well, almost get over. The level restarting on death was starting to annoy me. For some reason, I kept dying to this porcupine in particular. Eventually, I made it to the later sections and successfully beat the level with no boxes destroyed. The next level was Air Crash. This level has a similar water ski mechanic as before, but the placing of the boxes were more devious. I kept hitting boxes, and so I would kill Crash to reset the level. I tried going around this box, but I still kept hitting it. After a lot of resets, I was able to angle the ski just right to get through this gap. And after a tight squeeze with some nitros, the rest of the level was really straightforward. and we finished the level with 0 boxes. Our next level was Bear It. In this level, you ride a polar bear, and you can steer left, right, you can jump, and you can speed up. The level was going well, but there were several TNTs that explode by themselves that you cannot stop in any way. Up ahead, 2 more TNTs went off, followed by 1 more. We reached the end with a total of 6 boxes destroyed. Next up was Crash Crush, another boulder escape level. As you might expect, there were multiple boxes that we could not stop the boulder crushing. There was a small gap between a stack of boxes that needed to be crouch jumped over. Another 4 nitros were destroyed, and the boulder crushed another checkpoint box, which sadly doesn't activate the checkpoint for us. 6 more nitros were squished. I grabbed the crystal, and then watched as another box was crushed. The box casualties kept piling up. 1 more box was crushed, and then 2 more. By the end of the level, 20 boxes had been slain, and we could do nothing about it. The next level was the Eel Deal. This level was a nice break from the boulders. There were very few obstacles. There was a nitro section in the electric pool, which was quite easily avoidable. I had some time to hang out and collect some Wumpa fruits, and I cleared the level with no issues at all. Our next boss fight was the Komodo brothers. A very simple fight, and after 3 spins, we can finally move on to the next warp room. I was now in Warp Room 3. First up was Plant Food. This level introduced some harder elements to avoid. The first water ski section was manageable, but the second section was much harder. I had to use 2 pity masks just to get past the plants. I had to manually eliminate the plants before hopping on to keep myself safe. And I used the boost to avoid the plant camping at the end. This was a trickier level, but I still kept my hands clean from box blood. Up next was Sewer or Later. Most obstacles were easily avoidable with a bit of patience. But then we came across a huge obstacle, the wall. My first attempt to climb over it was a failure. After frantically trying to skid jump and crouch jump over, it turned out a body slam was all that was needed to get to the top of the crates. I managed to beat the level with 0 boxes, but I forgot to grab the crystal. So, after redoing the entire level again for the crystal, we finish again with 0 boxes. Our next level was Bear Down. This was another polar bear level. The level sadly starts off with 4 boxes being broken straight away. I tried to avoid it from different angles, but the boxes just cannot be skipped, they always break. Further ahead, some more TNT went off, but apart from these 6 boxes that I couldn't avoid, the rest of the level was manageable. Our next level was Road to Ruin. Some creative jumping was needed to avoid the TNT boxes, but I eventually got the hang of it. The rest of the level was fairly tame, except I choked right at the end and had to restart the whole level. But I got my revenge on the monkey, and we finished the level with no boxes. The next level was Unbearable. This is a boulder chase level, but with a giant polar bear. The polar bear destroyed 2 nitro boxes before destroying another crate. Unfortunately, many more crates were destroyed. Eventually, you ride your smaller polar bear to try and escape. During this escape, 4 more boxes were destroyed. so 19 boxes perished in total. Our next boss fight was Tiny Tiger, and it was over before I even realised. Moving on to Warp Room 4. Our next level was Hanging Out. Now, I completed this level and I got the crystal, but my footage was corrupted, so I had to restart the whole entire level again. For the most part, the level was quite easy to navigate without hitting any boxes. But there was an annoying obstacle. A wall of 12 boxes that is completely blocking the way. Each column has a TNT in it, and because TNT reacts to dropping on another crate, it would explode. So I could not break any boxes without setting off the TNT and causing an explosion that destroyed everything. There were 12 more casualties. There was a wall of nitros towards the end of the level. It looks tricky, but with the right angle and a well-timed crouch jump, you can jump over all of them. And then I choked at the last jump. Let's do it all again. Eventually I made it back, and we finished the level with 12 boxes destroyed. Next up was Digging It. This level was a pain in the butt. The most annoying thing was the length of the level. Every time I made a mistake, I had to reset all the way back to the start and do the same boring things again and again. I felt the hitboxes of the bees felt unfair at times. Eventually I made my way very far, but I tripped over on such a silly mistake. And after 2 game overs on this level alone, I got to the end with 0 boxes destroyed. I'm so glad it's over. Next level is Cold Hard Crash. I take back everything I said about the last level. This was by far the worst level in the entire game for this challenge. It took 2 hours to get through this level without dying and getting the minimum number of boxes possible. The first section of the level is super easy, but as soon as you head upstairs, everything goes downhill. I know it's my mistake, but I just kept dying and dying. Despite my stupid mistakes, there were some interesting box layouts to notice. This section of bouncy boxes has to be jumped on and then over the box at the top. It was pretty straightforward to start with. But after this point, everything sucks. Let me explain all the obstacles ahead. Immediately after the bouncy crates, there's an icicle above the TNT, which no matter what you do, will set off the TNT and blow up the box next to it. 2 more casualties. Beyond that is a wall of 8 crates up top and 2 crates down below, guarded by a porcupine. By angling your slide or crouch jump just right, you can break only 1 box and then kill the porcupine. You have to hit the exclamation block to keep going with the level, so you have to break some boxes up top and some down below to continue. You can then slide on a 45-degree angle upstairs to break only 1 box from the pile, and then you can crouch jump over. After that, there is a slip and slide in which you must body slam to cancel your momentum just before hitting the boxes at the end. After this slide, there are penguins with some of the worst hitboxes in the game. Remember, if you get hit, restart the level. Later on, there are 4 boxes in a tight gap. You must destroy at least 2 of these to fit through. After that, there are some more annoying penguins. If you can survive all that nonsense, there are now penguins next to nitros. Now, if you accidentally hit the penguin and survive with a mask, the penguin can spin into the nitro. So you have to land on the penguin's head perfectly to not break the box. And if, and only if, you get through all that nonsense, you get to play the rest of the level as a reward. Oh, you died? Never mind, just do it all again, friend. Put simply, this level was a bad time. But there was one trick I figured out after my many failures, which would have been super helpful earlier on in the run. I figured out that if you enter a bonus level and you fail it on purpose, it'll act as a checkpoint for your respawn. So, by backtracking, jumping down the bonus level, failing intentionally, we could have a checkpoint mid-level without breaking a single checkpoint box. This was necessary for my sanity, and I used this strat for other levels in the future. Now, after multiple game overs and 2 hours of failed attempts, I was starting to work out a rhythm for this level. So here's what I did. After the bouncy boxes, jump across and trigger the TNT explosion. Slide on a 45-degree angle to break only one bottom crate. Slide kill to kill the porcupine and the exclamation block. Slide to break only one crate. Go to the bonus stage, enter it, fail, and respawn. Crouch jump over the crates. Body slam at the perfect time. Break only 2 crates. Crouch jump over the nitro onto the penguins. And then survive the rest of the level without stuffing it up. After all that time and effort, there were 6 boxes that could not be avoided. The next level was Ruination. After the nightmare that was Cold Hard Crash, Ruination was a pleasant experience. I used the bonus level strat to get a checkpoint. Some platforms required some careful timing, but overall it was manageable. The level was kind enough to give us a free mask, which we would definitely need. Ruination was complete with 0 boxes broken. Behaving was our next level. My footage was corrupted for this level again, so I had to do it twice for your viewing pleasure. Overall, it was an okay level, but there was some really annoying obstacles. When you reach the red ground, you can spin to dig down. From here, avoid the nitros and spin up in the gap to avoid setting any off. I don't know why, but this lightning fence killed me so many times. But also, just the sliding under the fence got me stung by bees on many occasions. Enter the bonus level, fail, respawn, and after that the rest of the level was pretty easy. Behaving was complete, no boxes died. Our next boss was Engine. It was a nice easy fight to finish off Warp Room 4. Onwards to the final warp room. We were now in the final warp room. First up was Piston It Away. The level was straightforward, with only one annoying obstacle. This crate here is quite annoyingly placed. Normally, we would slide through the crate to knock the walking robot from underneath. But if you slide at all, this crate will break. So, you must crawl behind the crate, crawl under the metal bar, and then slide as soon as possible to kill the robot. The rest of the level was pretty easy, 0 boxes. Rocket was our next level, and it was very easy to navigate. You actually have to go out of your way to find boxes in this level, so it was easy to avoid every single box. A lovely level to have towards the end of the game. Next up was Night Fight. Apart from a near miss with the lizard, it was another easy level to navigate and easier still to avoid the boxes. No casualties. Up next was Pack Attack. There is really nothing to say here. It's just as easy to avoid boxes as the last jetpack level. So we finished with 0 boxes. Moving on to our last level, Spaced Out. The level starts off pretty straightforward, and with some precise jumping you can avoid nearly any box. But there was one unavoidable nitro crate behind this henchman. You cannot jump over or get around this henchman without pushing him back onto the nitro crate. No matter the method, either you or him will be pushed into a nitro crate, making this an unskippable box. Immediately after, you will have to do a crouch jump and slide to get rid of the walking robot. Further on, there were shrink rays and hot pipes. You must slide under the shrink rays, and I crouch jumped over the pipes to avoid any damage. So, for the final level, I could not get past without making the henchman die on that crate. Now, in theory, if you collected every coloured gem, you could complete the level as normal. Grab the crystal, intentionally die, restart from the beginning, and then use the gem platform, and then technically finish the level with 0 boxes. But some of the coloured gems require boxes to be broken to access in the first place. So this kind of felt against the spirit of the run and it became a bit confusing. So for this level, I'm going to say 1 box is the minimum you need to break. The only thing left to do was fight Cortex. And after a short jetpack run, I had done it. So what is our overall casualty rate? Well, 86 boxes. This is how many boxes I could not avoid breaking while doing this run. Although this is far more boxes than I thought I'd have to break, I'm pleased that 17 out of 25 levels you can beat without breaking any boxes. I think that's an achievement on its own. If you can think of any other ways to reduce the box count, please let me know. But thank you for watching, and I'll hopefully see you around in another video.